Hey there, in this video we are going to look at multiplying decimals. So to start, we are going to look at this 2.4 times 0.48. When we are multiplying decimals, we want to go ahead and ignore the decimal point. You can actually delete it to avoid confusion if that helps. So really we're looking at multiplying 24 times 48. Now we will perform the multiplication as if these were actually natural numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and do 24 times 48 in our long multiplication format, just because I probably don't know that one off the top of my head. So using our long multiplication, we can do 8 times 4, which is 32. So we put a 2 here and carry the 3. Then 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 3. 16 is 17, 18, 19. So that's going to be 19 here. And we put the 19, we don't carry the 1 because we don't have any remaining columns to carry that 1 to. So now that we've done that with the 8, then we move on to the 4. Remember, we have to put a 0 here, and then we can use that 4 to multiply diagonally. So I'm going to cross out the 3 that we carried from the first round, and we do 4 times 4, which is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, add the 1, and that's going to be 9. So now we go ahead and add down these columns. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 9 plus 6 is 15. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus another 1 is 11. So we have 1,152 is what it appears to be. But because this was not 24 times 48, we have to consider where we put that decimal point back into our final answer, our product, our result. So 1152, well, that is not going to be 1,152. These are the correct numbers. But to figure out where the decimal point goes when we're multiplying, it's a little bit different than when we're adding. Notice I did not require you to make sure that you had the same number of decimal digits with multiplication like you do with addition or subtraction. And that's because now what we do to figure out where the decimal point goes is we just add up the number of decimal digits, which here would be 1 decimal digit in this first number and 2 decimal digits in the second number. 1 plus 2 is 3. So there are going to be 3 decimal digits in our final answer. So to figure out where that decimal point goes, we always start from the right end and we go over 1, 2, 3 numbers to the left. And that gives us 1.152 as our final answer. Now looking at number 2, we would do the exact same thing. So really treat this as a whole number without the decimal point. So that would be 444 times the whole number here without the decimal point would be 0, 2, or just 2. Now you can use the long multiplication process. So you can set up 444 times 2, but you'll notice that with it only being a single digit you're multiplying by, you're really just doing 2 times 4, 2 times 4, 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8, so that's going to be 8, 8, and 8. So you may not need to set that up in order to get 888 when we do 444 times 2. Notice again, we do have to count our decimal digits. So we have 3 decimal digits here, and we have 1 decimal digit here. 3 decimal digits plus 1 decimal digit is going to give me 4 decimal digits in my final answer. Now you might think, well, I only have 3 decimal digits. So if I start from the right side, just like we did on the last one, I move it over 1, I move it over 2, I move it over 3. If I moved over a 4th one, it's going to go right here. And I do have to put a 0 in that empty spot, that one number that we are missing here, in order to actually answer this problem. So this is going to be 0.0888 to give me the 4 decimal digits. Or if you want to have a whole number in front, technically you can put the 0 there, 0.0888 as my final answer. So in a quick summary, remember when we're multiplying decimals, we multiply as whole numbers, ignoring the decimal point. And then in order to figure out where the decimal point goes, we just add up all of the decimal digits from the original problem. And then that number of decimal digits is how many decimal digits we have to have in our final answer. Remember that sometimes you do need to add zeros to the left, like we did on that last problem that we just did. If I had that 8, 8, and 8, and I needed it to go 1, 2, 3, 4 places over, 4 decimal digits, then I needed to add that 0 there.